All right.
Way to start a depressing episode.
Today we're going to talk about the worst days of our lives. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ryan. I am the Kryptonian Collector, and I'm joined with my good friend,
Ethan or Mist.
There we go. Today we're here, since you guys enjoyed our Superman review so much, we're going to be talking about none other than the Fantastic Four. So yeah, we're just going to go through it again, much like last time. And the first thing I want to say is I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't really a pleasant surprise because I didn't really know what to expect heading into it. I don't really think I had much expectations heading into it either. The trailer never really got me excited, and heading into the month of July, out of Superman and Fantastic Four, I was much more excited for Superman than Fantastic Four. So, you know, it's kind of funny how that works, right? And I'm literally like almost polar opposites between the two. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. I was more excited for Superman, even though I had some gripes with how it came to be. But I remember buying the tickets to Fantastic Four, and obviously I didn't tell you what time, but I do remember buying the tickets first and just getting the first showing tickets. And honestly, I
as we
forgot about
normally
it till it came
do,
out.
but it's not. There's usually not the afternoon showing
No.
for us, which I think maybe that's where we kind of just miscommunicated.
Well, it must have been the whole way through because I had invited another friend, and anyway, getting off it, he's seen it twice now. I have only seen it the once, but I did see the experience in 3D IMAX, and I have to say I really enjoyed the 3D aspect. I know that you probably wouldn't have. But
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really I'm not a 3D guy, and I'm not a D-box guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not that picky, but I'm kind of picky with my movies, I guess. So, you know, and yeah, I got to see it opening night. I'd just seen it at the late night showing Thursday before it came out, and then Friday I get to see it as well. So I seen it back-to-back nights. And I mean, my rating didn't really change. My thoughts didn't really change a whole lot. My rating did go up 1 point after the second watch, but for the most part, it didn't really change a whole lot. So I don't know if this is something that will gradually continue to grow on me, like some movies do, or if it'll just kind of hover around that same ranking. We'll see, I guess.
Oh, we'll be hopeful. I haven't seen it a second time, but I'm anticipating going to see it at least one more time before it is out of theaters. So yeah, we're going to dig right into this one. We've talked about kind of our initial thoughts here, but I do want to mention Thunderbolts. If you're going into this movie and you don't want spoilers, stop the video right now, watch Thunderbolts first, and then go in and see Fantastic Four. But now we start with the spoilers. So at the end of Thunderbolts, I was really kind of caught off guard by that end scene.
For a long time, I've told you this, and I've told my girlfriend this very much, that I always thought this Fantastic Four was going to be in a different universe, and they're coming to the MCU universe. And then in the trailer, when we finally get to see Galactus, I was convinced that 828 was going to be destroyed, was going to be eaten, and they were just going to flee the planet. And they were the only ones that got out safe and alive, and they go to the MCU universe. My theory has now switched up a little bit. I know we're going to kind of talk about this, but we'll get into that in a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I honestly thought that they were escaping it as well. I mean, who wouldn't have?
Yeah, right.
Their ship with their big logo on the side just appears. Plus, even if it wasn't, and Galactus showed up on the Earth, and it was the same Earth as our Avengers, they probably would have noticed this big guy walking through New York.
Yeah, and obviously the retro-futuristic 60s is,
awesome.
You know, that's amazing. And Matt Shakman is the same director that did WandaVision. Yeah. I feel like you can see some kind of creative connections in that case, and I love his style that he's bringing to the MCU. I love WandaVision. It's still probably my second favorite MCU show. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Fantastic Four. I just love the sets and the world that it's building. And obviously 828's a different universe, clearly, right? And that entire world is connected through the Fantastic Four. They are there because of the Fantastic Four and for the Fantastic Four. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a difference than
plays a
our
big part.
MCU universe, right?
And I have a slight theory that I mean, obviously these are comic book movies, but me being more of the comic book guy, it's basically right off the page. It's like they took them right off the page, and I think the 60s tone really helps add to the story. And you kind of find out in the film that it is heavily influenced by the comic books and the creators a little bit later on, and things are a little bit more clear by the end of the film.
And I've seen Shackman talk about it as well. Like, he took inspiration from a lot of different Fantastic Four comic runs, and I think you can just tell that the passion that he has for this project, which is nice to see, because I think some directors just direct a movie, especially a superhero movie, for the paycheck. I don't feel that way with Shackman at all. I think he was definitely passionate about this, and he seemed like he actually knew these characters, and I personally feel like he understands these characters as well. So, and a lot of people say this is easily the best Fantastic Four movie out of the bunch, which I agree, but I am actually fairly high on half of them. Half of them, I guess.
Yeah,
two of them not so much.
I think you had a video recently where you went through all the older Fantastic Four films.
Yeah, last week when that was coming out, I watched the 94 one, which was really, really cringy. It's hard to watch, but it's not as bad as Fan Four Stick, the 2015 one, which, to be honest, it didn't go down that much on a rewatch. It is the second time I've seen it. It didn't go down that much. There was a few scenes I almost enjoyed too, but I love the 2000s Fantastic Four, and I love that cast too. And I've seen a lot of comparisons to the 2001 and to this one, and there's like kind of back and forth between the characters and casting, which I enjoy, just because it kind of makes me feel a little bit warm, because the 2000s Fantastic Four, especially Silver Surfer, Rise of Silver Surfer, is some of the most iconic movies of my childhood, because I would have been like 4 and 6 when those movies were coming out, and I know I still have the DVDs of those two movies, which is pretty sweet. So those are like staples of my childhood. So I think maybe that kind of affected me a little bit towards this movie, maybe because it's such a big part of my childhood, and I finally get to see Fantastic Four on the big screen. It's my first time seeing them on the big screen.
Oh wow!
Maybe that kind of affected me. It's the same thing with Superman, right? It's the first time I get to see them, see these characters on the big screen. Because I mean, I'll be 24 in a month, but like,
wow.
No, I didn't get to really see that stuff when I was a kid, or when I was even a young teenager. That's not stuff that I'd seen. So I only really started becoming a comic book fan in 2018. So. Especially comic book movies, right?
That's understandable.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit now about the actors and the characters. So I think I'm going to let you take lead on that one.
Yeah. I'm going to talk. I kind of have like the main 6 in groups. Like I have Pedro Pascal and Joseph Quinn together, which I think they're both good.
Do you notice they didn't make him shave his mustache?
Yeah. Did you see the post that I had sent you? He's now alongside Henry Cavill and...
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's now alongside Henry Cavill, and I think it was...
Henry Nicholson Cavill was not allowed to shave his mustache.
Was it Nicholson that didn't shave his mustache for a Joker, or was it a different...
No, it was Romero in the 60s Batman.
So you just see the white paint over his mustache. It's brutal. Anyways,
but he didn't have to shave. Well, I mean, it still worked for him.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, I don't think that's really much of a problem for Pedro.
I think it would have looked worse if he actually shaved
it. Yeah.
And it worked with the 60s vibe.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think like those two, Joseph and Pedro, they kind of are both good. Honestly, there are other counterparts of their characters I prefer. I'm a big Chris Evans guy, so I personally prefer Chris Evans' Johnny Storm. But there's no doubt that this, Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm, is definitely better. And definitely more comic accurate. But I'm just a little bit more biased.
Some people off. I think it would have been really, really cool if you had like Metallica playing in the background, Master of Puppets. I'm sorry, I have to say it. But yeah, and now moving on to Vanessa.
Yeah, I mean Vanessa Kirby and Ebon Moss-Bachrach, they are definitely the brightest points of this movie. It's definitely the best casting in this movie as well.
The casting was just spot on. I believed each one of them was actually their counterpart, their character, and especially with
So good, man.
with the Thing.
So good, man.
I found with the Thing, he was like more emotional, but not off the deep end like he was in previous
Yeah,
films.
agreed.
And
And yeah, I mean, especially if you look at different iterations of the Thing, like in the '90s one, he's just kind of like rageful but also playful, if that makes any sense. And then in the 2000 ones, he really doesn't want to be the Thing, right?
Yeah,
Like he really does not want to be the Thing. And to be fair, maybe that, this new 2025 Fantastic Four thing does also feel that way, but we skipped the origin story,
yeah,
which
it
I think
does take place. What was it, 5 years?
I think it's 4 years after.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think
4
they
years
did.
after they got their powers, and then, I mean, it's okay to skip an origin story sometimes. I think sometimes it really works in a movie, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But when it's characters that have been rebooted, this now being the fourth time
We don't need it.
over the past 30 years, right? We don't need to see it because literally every other version we see the powers
Exactly,
and how
and,
they
you
get
know,
their powers.
I think that to make a successful movie, if you're making a first in a franchise such as this one, if you don't want to start off with the origins, I like the way Zack Snyder did it in Man of Steel, where you have him start off at point D, but you give him all the steps that led him up to that point.
Yeah,
And
fair
then
enough.
it culminate in whatever invasion, Galactus, whatever is happening.
Whatever, maybe, yeah. fair
And
enough.
I think they did a really good job. But going back to Vanessa Kirby, I think she did a really amazing job.
Yeah, she's the star of this movie.
Especially when she had the baby.
Yeah,
Like,
that entire
gave the
that birth
speech.
scene was amazing.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah, my favorite, probably honestly my favorite scene. Excuse me, my favorite scene of the movie was probably Vanessa going out to the rioters outside of the Baxter
exactly.
building
That's
and just
scene.
discussing like, no, I'm not sacrificing my child, but I'm also not sacrificing the people of this earth.
Yeah.
Right, which is really really amazing
good
because there are some characters that probably don't care that much.
Yeah.
And of course, and obviously I understand where these humans are coming from. And the only time we ever see conflict between the regular humans of the world and our Fantastic Four is when they find out that they actually can't protect them from everything like they have,
Yeah.
This is the first big threat that they've had to face, right? So, and that's Galactus, I guess, right?
Oh,
so,
Galactus.
And
Yeah.
I really like that. You get to see kind of a turn from, where these humans are, and it's so different than our MCU universe where, we're 6 movies in with Avengers, and
Yeah.
we're only like 2 years in it, or 2-3 years in the MCU at that point, where you can already see the doubts and the seeds being planted for something like Civil War, right? You can see people being on both ends of the spectrum where the humans and the world are behind the Fantastic Four in this movie, and they are until they realize that they can't protect them from everything.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's
they came
genuine
back from
human
space.
emotions, right?
They came back from space and they just tried to slink away from the reporters and the cameras. And, I think it really says a lot because, I mean, that felt more grounded than most things because, I mean, the Avengers always said that they were going to try, but the Fantastic Four, they land with the new baby and they quickly tried to just get out of there because they didn't want to tell the world they failed, but it was very apparent by their body language and just how everything, their moods.
Yeah.
And I think that really, like, right off the bat, like, there we are, we're already in the deep end.
Yeah.
It's already gotten out of hand. But,
Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was a great scene, especially probably one of the more emotional scenes of the movie.
the space scene, though.
And yeah, I mean, we can kind of move into Galactus / Silver Surfer, Julia Garner and Ralph Ineson, who, by the way, Ralph Ineson has the best voice ever. Like, he's probably going to be, I think by the end of his career, he could be like up there with James Earl Jones. It's one of the most iconic voices in film because he's got such a distinct, I think, Irish or Scottish voice, and it's crazy.
It
And
works
I
so
think
well.
It works so well. And the only other person I could actually picture voicing Galactus is James Earl Jones, but I don't think it would have sounded right. I think Ralph
it would have been
Ineson
weird.
is like the perfect casting just because how intimidating his voice is, and that makes Galactus super, super intimidating, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Julia Garner, Silver Surfer, is wonderful.
What was she called again? Shellaball?
Shellaball, yeah. She's literally surfing on space and time.
Yeah. And I find she did a better job in this film than the 2004. What year
2007.
was it? 2007. Surfer did
Yeah,
at
agreed.
kind of conveying his humanity side
Yeah.
or his compassionate side.
100%.
Because by the end of it, like when she does, and again spoilers, but when she does start helping the Fantastic Four and realizing what she's been doing to worlds just to save her own, it just really was just impactful.
Yeah,
I think
it's kind of gut wrenching, because like you said, I mean, especially when you look at it, compared to the 2007 one, where kind of a side note, but my biggest gripe with every Fantastic Four movie is that they're not long enough because they should be longer, and we'll talk about that again at some point. But
Yeah.
I think for this one, it's so different because the 2007 one, when Silver Surfer helps get rid of Cloud Galactus, it's cool, but I don't feel like it's earned as much, and I feel like it is a little bit rushed at the same time as well. There's some really cool moments, obviously, with that Silver Surfer, same as this one.
Well, they did a really good
But-
job merging CG with the
Whatever
actual
the
scene.
like practical, yeah. I mean, well, we can kind of talk about space, I guess. This
Yeah.
is probably the best looking MCU movie because
That's
again,
space. And I love their ship.
The
I have to say
Dude.
that was a cool
the
space shuttle or
practical
ship.
effects, the set design, the costume design, which are my favorite Fantastic Four suits.
They did
look so
such a good job
cozy,
with
man.
like those retro ones. Yeah, they do.
Dude, they look so good. The turtleneck? No, yeah, the Mr. Fantastic turtleneck is
I think
sick.
they're going to get new ones. Obviously, they're going to the at the
New
end.
movie, new toys.
Yeah, exactly. This was
how it
just
works.
the warm-up suits.
Yeah, literally.
For the
This is
era
the
they're
jogging
in.
suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just everything really like creatively about this movie is, fantastic. It just actually
fantastic.
is.
Yeah.
Like, and again, it's probably the best looking visually, and
Oh, yeah.
honestly, it's one of the best. Like, just I don't even know what the right word is to describe it. Like, it kind of just feeds your eyes. Some
Yeah.
movies just feed your eyes,
Well,
and
this
some movies do it fantastically with like cinematography and just amazing shots or amazing wide shots. This one is just so bright and beautiful and colorful.
Well,
I love that.
on that, you saw it in IMAX twice.
Yeah.
I only saw it the once, but the one time I saw it was IMAX 3D, and I can speak a little more to this since I did.
Yeah.
I did actually go, but I found that the 3D in this film wasn't as out at
In your
you
face.
as most.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice and subdued, but it's still away so that you felt you were in the ship or that you were walking up to Galactus, and it was just really well done. So
Yeah,
kudos for that.
Again, like I said, I'm not really a big
Yeah.
3D guy, but the way that you describe it kind of makes me wish I had seen it in 3D
Yeah.
just to see what it looked
So
like.
I think there was a scene, and it just looked like Galactus walking, but he was walking by, and the objects were actually just like it was almost like you were actually just floating there, and it wasn't him reaching out at you or trying to get that ultimate 3D effect.
Yeah.
They made it for IMAX for the regular screen. They didn't want to overdo it with 3D because I find it's kind of gimmicky when you do
Yeah.
too much 3D. So it really did work well, and just overall, I enjoyed this one more than Superman in one screening.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I ranked it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd twice. Originally rated it a 94 out of 100 and raised it to a 95 out of 100. So it's actually just outside of my top 10 MCU. Like, it's not top 10, but it's pretty close. I think it was like 12 or something. I'm a pretty big MCU guy, obviously, though. So I have a lot of movies that are rated highly within the MCU. But yeah, this is going to be one of my favorite origin stories to the MCU. And in my opinion, this is the best Marvel movie since Shang-Chi.
Oh, wow.
Well, live action, because
Yeah.
across.
Quite a few.
But Shang-Chi back in 2021, so.
So there's a couple things that we do have to get into here. The first one I'm going to talk about. There was a couple kind of cameos and just scenes, little Easter eggs hidden throughout the film. And I'm going to go to the one I saw first. I mean, obviously I saw the other big one, but I saw, I think, one that was a little more subtle, and it looked like obviously in the movie, the Fantastic Four have some sort of following. They're in the newspapers, what have you. But it actually looked like the original comic strips, right out of Kirby's art. And
That's cool.
honestly, they were tacking it on the wall, and I couldn't help but talk to the guy that I had go with me and say, I think that was Kirby's art.
That's cool.
Like, I had to point it out.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out.
I'm not sure if it is, though. So please let me know in the comments down below if you guys happen to see it. But to me, it looked like it.
Yeah, and you know what? This movie really did feel like a love letter to Jack Kirby, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's
lot
especially,
of
I mean, some people, obviously, not a lot of people probably knew this, right? And as soon as you know, opening second of the movie, you see Earth 828,
Yeah.
and then you learn at the end why it's dedicated to that, right?
Yeah. This movie
Which is really awesome.
The love letter to Jack Kirby,
Yeah.
who played a big part in the early Marvel universe.
Especially
Stan Lee got a
Fantastic
lot
Four,
of
right?
Stan Lee got a lot of love from the MCU fans, and I think it's just great that Jack Kirby's getting a little nod
Agreed.
in the Fantastic Four.
Agreed. And speaking of the Fantastic Four, I believe he passed away in 1994, and that's when the first Fantastic Four movie came out, and that cast was also in the movie.
They were
which
sitting
was
at a
really
diner,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the thank you Fantastic Four, which was really awesome because
Yeah.
I recognized it immediately, and I was like, Mel. And yeah, it was just kind of awesome to see that little cameo, you know. And especially seeing, you know, earlier in the week, the blue carpet for the premiere. All four of them were there, plus Ewan, or however it's pronounced, Ewan Grufford was also there, which was pretty cool. So it's nice to see some of the old cast supporting this new versions of them.
Well, you know what? To me, I don't know if the Marvel Studios is always brought in, but I mean, Fantastic Four is amongst some of the earlier Marvel movies, so it's kind of cool to see them.
Like you think
mix
about
in.
it going back to the 90s, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, so basically, there's only a few things really left for me to really say, but we talked earlier about shorter scenes, or it seemed like it was cut out, and I just I feel like, and DC seems to be going this way too, but it just seems to me that there was scenes cut out, or they have this, and I know it's probably to get more butts in seats in theaters, but
People
it's like
don't want to watch a 3-hour movie,
they
which
cut it
is
down
fair.
to 2 hours, which I can
Personally,
understand.
I don't care. Like, I'll watch
Yeah,
any length
neither.
of any movie, right? But
Yeah.
not everyone wants to sit in a theater for 3 hours,
Well,
and I don't blame them.
I honestly think, and obviously, I think the director should be able to release an extended cut if one is warranted, and I think it happens more. It's warranted more than I think the studios want to say or want to put out the disc. It's hard to say.
We kind of talked about this before we were, or when we were getting ready for this as well. Like, it feels like, you know, a lot of people that I've seen online, a lot of people's biggest gripe with this movie is that it feels very choppy. It feels really over-edited. It feels like there's a lot of scenes missing, and especially, I just randomly rewatched the trailer this week, and there's so much from the trailer that's not in this movie. There's so many scenes, there's so many different shots, and there's so much different dialogue that we don't even hear in the movie. So clearly there's a lot of deleted scenes, there was a lot of stuff that was hacked, and I'm kind of hoping that eventually with a DVD release, a Blu-ray release, whatever it may be, we're going to get those extra scenes as we typically do. You know, they release those deleted scenes to see what these scenes are, you know, to see what it is.
It didn't hurt the film as bad.
No.
Either.
I personally didn't really notice it that much. So.
I think as long as the director is happy with the product that's going out, that is the most important thing. And if the studio could be as kind as to say, we're going to put this disc out. It's going to be part of a collector's edition,
whatever.
Of the movie,
I mean, to be fair, you know, it's probably no movie makes it out without cuts, right? It's very rare.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Some
I heard
stuff
that
needs to be cut.
I heard season 2 of Andor doesn't have a single deleted scene, which is insane.
That's crazy.
Especially because not only is that Star Wars, but it's Disney. Like I said, almost everything has some sort of, not necessarily studio interference, but you know, there's at least some trimming going on. But no, like Andor literally had not a single second of it cut, which is insane. Yeah, to think about. So, you know, I just kind of wish that was the case. Sometimes I just wish the directors got that full creative freedom instead of that 95%, it's that 100%, you know, which is probably a small gripe, you know. That's a small complaint, but whatever.
You know, if it was up to me, I'd get a extended cut for every movie almost.
Yeah, get an ultimate edition for every
But
movie.
yeah, so I mean, final thoughts. The only thing I do want to bring up before our final thoughts is a little bit of Doom.
Doom. Yeah, we can talk about some of the characters. Like,
Yeah.
in every version of the Fantastic Four, it's either Doom or it's Cloud Galactus. So I'm finally glad we get to see Galactus. It's nice to get Shellaball instead
a
of
comic
just,
accurate Galactus, which is
instead
important.
of Norrin Rad. You know, it's nice to see that variety as well. Really awesome to see Mole Man, even though we don't really get to see much of him. It's just kind of cool. And Franklin, although fucking CGI babies, man. That's my biggest complaint about the movie. You know me, man. I'm a big Flash defender, Flash 2023 defender, and Flash TV show defender.
We gotta learn from a baby in the microwave.
We gotta learn from fucking CGI babies, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why we keep doing it. Fuck. It's not. I didn't notice it as much on the second watch, to be honest. It kind of. I think I just kind of ignored it. But the first time, it just kept hitting me in the face. I'm like, man, this looks fucking.
Especially
bad.
the scene where he's going into the tower. You can definitely tell.
Although seeing little Franklin floating with huge Galactus' head,
cool.
that was one of my favorite shots of the movie. To be honest, that was pretty sweet.
Speaking
but
of Galactus heads, as you can see, we have the one bucket I was actually able to afford. They had those $100 ones. It broke records.
They were 80. Yeah,
they were $100.
No, it said 80. There was a sign that said 80 at Cineplex.
It was $100 after tax.
Oh, okay.
So,
I guess, yeah. Man, even with my CineClub 20% off, it just wasn't going to be worth it. No. And truthfully,
and honestly, I think this
really
one
wanted
comes
it.
apart. I really don't want to try it right now, but
I really
great
wanted
movie
that
overall. I think that it was just masterfully done. I'm excited for the future. You know, I think we finally have an answer to why they went through a portal. I'm assuming Doctor Doom took them back to that one.
Is that your theory?
Dr. Iron Man.
Okay, my theory, that has since changed, because forever, especially after the Thunderbolts credit scene, but even before that, I was convinced that this Earth was getting eaten by Galactus, and that they were going to flee, they were going to get out of there, they're going to another universe, they end up in the MCU universe, whatever. How ironic.
Well, maybe Doctor Doom brings Galactus
at
back?
This point, no, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but at this point, my biggest theory is that they don't know where they sent Galactus. They made a point to say that it's the edge of the universe. Who knows? I think that at some point they sent Galactus somewhere near the MCU universe, and I think we'll see. Obviously, there's a 4-year time gap or time jump, in the credit scene where we get to see that little Doom scene, which we'll talk about in a second. But I think Galactus will be bigger, will be badder, and will be a much bigger he'll be a much bigger threat in Doomsday. I think we'll see him again. We'll see him bigger. We'll see him angrier, and he was sent to the MCU universe. So
I think because of the Avengers, though, I think he's going to end up, because of the end of this film, he's basically just hovering over Franklin. And I think somehow they're going to track him back to the Avengers universe.
He's looking for Franklin
to go and save their son. And I think, I think it's going to be the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, all kind of getting together. I know that it's like the original Avengers team is basically done, but I would have loved to see the original Avengers team, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, just everyone there going. Yeah. That would just be so cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Doomsday because Spider-Man is next in about a year. Next July we get Supergirl and Spider-Man, so it's going to be kind of more of the same, right? So that'll be really exciting. And then, after that, it's Doomsday. 6 months after, it's Doomsday, man, which is going to be insane. So I think that'll obviously lead into Secret Wars, which is the following movie.
That's it.
Which is crazy. And I think that's the soft reboot of the MCU. I think that's where it starts. Secret Wars. That's how it works in the comics, anyways, right? So
I'm very hopeful for the future, though.
Me too.
Anyways, that is pretty well our thoughts on the film.
Yeah.
I really do want to see it again.
Did you rank it a 4-star? 4.5?
I ranked it 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I would give it a 9 out of 10, 4 out of 5. Well, I guess it would be an 8 out of 10 if it was
8.5.
doubled. But I'd almost have to do like 4.25.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, it was very good. I'm very excited to go see it again. I'm waiting eagerly for the Steelbook to drop
too.
so I can order it.
Too.
And
I love this movie so much. I want to order Hot Toys. That's
yeah, I'm thinking about getting the whole team. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Johnny does drop. And for the first time, I know he's got one Hot Toys figure pre-ordered right now,
Yeah.
but I've never heard him so
eager
to order more
to
Hot
actually
Toys.
order one. Yeah.
But what was your rating on the film?
4.5 stars on Letterboxd. Like I said, it
Yeah.
went from a 94 to a 95 after the second watch. So I'm intrigued to see if that'll change, but I don't really plan on seeing it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
As always, I'm going to link all my links to all my socials down below: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys can go see it. Letterboxd will be down there. I'm also going to link Ethan's channel down below, so go give him a like, follow him. He does a bunch of what he's watched and
Yep.
gives you some thoughts.
Yep.
And his insights are pretty well spot on most of the
Watch
time.
a lot of movies.
Yeah, he does. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching again. Once again, thank you, Ethan, for
you.
joining me for a review. If you guys did like this, please leave a like rating. Subscribe to my channel for more great content. If you want to see more of this guy in my movie reviews, let me know by saying more Ethan. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.